Coach, thanks. CA Sports coverage of the NFL brings us to the Inner Harbor at M&T Bank Stadium here in Baltimore, Maryland. Here's a scene a short time ago. The Ravens introduced to this sellout crowd, and through a sea of pyrotechnics, out they came from the tunnel. We're set to go as the Ravens get ready to match up with the Pittsburgh Steelers. That'll be taken in the end zone. And no run back here. This will be a touchback, and it comes out to the 25-yard line.
Ready, break.
Check, 48, the mark. Wild Bill. Check, crunch.
Topper. Stop.
Here comes a first down throw from Rudolph. Blitz coming, and down he goes. A bad start there. A big loss on their first play from scrimmage. It's second down.
Brandon, if I'm an offensive coordinator and I see an all-out rush like that, I file it away because I'm going to use their aggressiveness against them as this game goes on. I'm going to hit them with a screen soon.
Coming up now on a 2nd and 15 following that sack. Rudolph now to throw. Open man completes it to Smith-Schuster. And they're able to get this one across the 35. 16 yards, a first down.
I think it all came together there. In-breaking route, drove it with excellent pace. Money throw right there to move the sticks.
So from the 36 now, 1st and 10. This is a guy who made a Pro Bowl in his second season, James Conner. And he puts his head down and gets up to the 42 for a gain of about 6.
Well, I think that's what they're going to need to do here in the first half. You've got to take some pressure off of this young quarterback, and no better way to do it than to establish the running game early.
Now it's Conner. And he'll take this for about 4 up to the 46-yard line. Pretty good job defensively. Thought he was going to get it, but they knew where that marker was, and they stopped him just short of it.
What it does is emphasize that strategic football and situational football is not just played on the offensive side, is it? Defense understanding, as you noted, where the first down marker was and making sure they didn't get there.
They'll try and run forward with Conner. Just a gain of a couple, but good enough to keep the drive rolling. Defense had a chance to get off the field here in the opening drive, couldn't do it.
I know that we go into these meetings with coaches, and sometimes maybe we can get, a little bit numb because they're always going to talk about how important third down is, aren't they? Offense and defense. In this case, one capitalized, and the other, as you said, had a chance to get off the field and didn't get it done.
Now the result here, a pickup of 8. Leaves them with 2 to go on second down. A good pickup there. 8 yards on the first down completion. Facing a 2nd and 2 after that last catch, good for 8 yards.
They're running it. Whip.
Hey, dude. Get it.
On second down, Conner looking for space. And he'll be brought down at about the 42.
One thing to keep in mind, partner, especially in the second half, when you've got a running back of this size and these dimensions, I can just tell you, attrition does set in for a defense because you're excited about hitting him in the first half. Maybe not so much in the second half, and some of these shorter gains turn into bigger runs later.
And he gets it to the 34, good enough for the first. The drive stays alive, a third down gain of 8.
On the set. Hey, orbit.
Watch it slant. Hey, look, 48. Look, hey, we don't like the 48 right now. Let's go. I'm trying to collect.
My snap.
On 1st and 10, Rudolph. And yes, complete to the tight end, McDonald. That one good for 14 yards and a Steeler first.
I got a kick out of that one, partner. You and I talk often about trying to hide receivers in certain situations, but a guy of his size can't really hide him. But the tight end drag route, definitely an effective way to sneak him across the formation for an easy completion and a first down.
Into heavy traffic, and it's intercepted. T.J. Green with a pick. And a big turnover there as his guys will get the football back. Well, when you start thinking of guys that are in the mix for Defensive Player of the Year, I think you use him as Exhibit A. Maybe he's not the leading guy right now, but he's at least on the periphery and deserves to be in the discussion.
And because of that, he's looking at a game today where in order to make that big move and maybe become the guy, he needs multiple takeaways, multiple big plays, things that get our attention and reverberate for weeks to come.
And he'll get it up a little shy of the 15. They'll spot him down at the 14-yard line. That throw good for 4. It's second down. 4 yards on that last completion, so that sets up 2nd and 6. They go to the former Saint, Mark Ingram. And maybe shades in the steel curtain here as the Steeler defense drops him behind the line again. Officially, it will go as a 1-yard loss, and that's going to lead to a 3rd down.
26 Mike. Hey, what's the ball? 26 Mike. 26 Mike. Check Mike.
They'll fake the give to Ingram. Now Jackson buying time to his left. He may try and run for this. Jackson always a threat to run. He's got the first down. He was the NFL's leading rusher among QBs a year ago. Everyone in this stadium knows Jackson can do that as well as any QB in the league. They talked about limiting some of his running this year, especially the design runs, but he's still going to scramble when he feels he has Green in front of him. He led all quarterbacks last year, 695 yards rushing, and keep in mind 80% of those came in the 7-game stretch when he was named starter late in the season. Give him a couple on the carry there, 2nd and 8.
At the 24-yard line.
The last run got a couple. Here's 2nd and 8. Out of the gun, they give to Ingram. And he gets this one just shy of the 40. They'll mark him down at the 39. 15 yards on the play, 1st down.
And there we see an early burst that makes him one of the leading rushers in the league.
Well, I want you to know, I listened to you yesterday when we were watching film. You said write down the word vision for him. It was on display there, wasn't it?
It certainly was, because he allows the blocks to set up in front of him. And if that continues, there'll be a long afternoon for those guys trying to play some defense.
A solid run on 1st down. Gain of 7 leaves him with a 2nd and 3.
Brings up 2nd and 3 at the 46-yard line.
Now this will probably be the last play of the quarter. No score after 1 on EA Sports. 2nd quarter now from Baltimore. It's the Ravens in possession as they've got it with a 2nd and 3 forthcoming. Play action. Now Jackson under a heavy rush, and down he goes. T.J. Watt causing the disruption. He gets the sack.
Well, that play was the very definition of fast, quick, and in a hurry. Suddenly, he was there.
Yeah, blink of an eye. That happened fast, and a big sack. Now it's Jackson. Flushed out right. And this is going to be caught, but they'll say out of bounds. So it's incomplete. So it doesn't look like they're going to be able to build off the turnover.
Well, the defense certainly did its part. It got them the football. But you're exactly right. It looks like they're going to have to punt this one away. And it's not a turnover, but doesn't it feel like one after grabbing the momentum with the defensive play?
Yeah, and they had all that momentum after getting the football, and now zapped right back in the other direction. The field position game, such an overlooked facet, Charles, of an NFL game, but this offense, they're going to be pinned back. What an ideal punt.
An ideal punt, and it leads to that term complementary football, because them doing that puts their defense in a great spot, doesn't it? Gives them a chance. If they want to be aggressive, try and maybe get a safety out of this whole thing, it puts them in that position.
They start with a give to Connor. And he'll take this one up to about the 13. It's a 6-yard pickup, but it gets him to 2nd and 4. We should mention, to go along with a great game he had last week, he was rightfully named AFC Offensive Player of the Week.
And he shares that with his offensive line, the tight end, his fullback. He's looking for more and more of that in this game.
On 2nd down and 4, Rudolph. And he slings one that's incomplete. Juju Smith-Schuster, the intended receiver. But now it'll be third down.
I think he's a little trigger happy right there, and it turned into an ill-advised throw into their zone.
Well, we know he has confidence. He'll throw it any place, anytime, anywhere. That time it fell incomplete. Now they face a third down and 4 after that incompletion on second down. They'll fake the handoff. Now Rudolph. And he's got his man, the tight end, McDonald. And, boy, he is very close to a first down, but from where they're spotting that football, he's going to be a foot or so short.
Brandon, perfect defense in this situation would have meant that there was an incompletion. They would have picked it off. Okay, so they gave up the completion. But I really enjoyed watching how the defense stayed in sync, stayed in great communication. And as he dragged across each zone, you see him pointing, communicating. There he is, and they passed him off to each defender. Ended up making a nice play, even though it was complete.
They only needed a few inches, but still some anxious moments there, but they do convert on fourth. On 1st and 10 is Connor, and he is going to lose yardage here. Call it a full 3 yards in the wrong direction there. Brings up second down. You mentioned very early on the need to establish a running game for this young QB. They really haven't been able to do that, though, in the first half.
So that means what in halftime? Adjustments time, right? Figure out what they are, figure out the things that they really want to accomplish, and who to run behind. Which are your better blockers? Find those guys and get in that direction.
And now a throw here secured by his running back out of the backfield. They'll wind up getting 10 back as that sets him up for third down. He's fresh off that 3-touchdown performance last week that got him AFC Offensive Player of the Week, so you know that he was already on their radar. Now he's maybe even a bigger plane on their radar.
Bigger plane. I mean, he is the big dot on that screen that they're looking at and saying, how in the heck do we stop him? They're going to try a bunch of different things, different people covering him. But right now, he's locked in and is in sync with his quarterback.
Now throwing on third down there, but he cannot connect. He was only asked to punt once in the victory last week as he sends this one away. And no return here. Where will they spot it? They say just outside the 20-yard line. The Baltimore offense at the line, set to get going. They've been playing the field position game thus far. No score, second quarter as they come up on 1st and 10. Oh, design run for their wideout. And he's got some space here. An excellent gain, 35 yards.
This is one of those plays that has an equal chance of either being a big gain or a big loss, but with the college influence, we're seeing more of these plays come into the NFL.
So the big play gets him across midfield now for 1st and 10. Here's Jackson to throw. Looking deep down. And at the 7-yard line, the catch is made. A big pickup of 38. Not really any offense for them to speak of here in this first half. Maybe that's what they needed, that big play.
Yeah, it seems that maybe everything changes right there. They've been a little slow out of the gate. We've seen that. But that one big play, that could spark a big burst right here.
They don't need to run another play here before the 2-minute warning. Let's see if they do it anyway. They'll run here with Ingram. And the D not yielding much there. He's only going to get a yard to about the 2. And we'll remind you that coming up at halftime, we'll join Jonathan Coachman and the gang in Orlando. Coach will have stats and scores from the early games going on here around the NFL. They'll look to run with Edwards. And I think they stopped him again. They did at the 1-yard line. Call it no gain that time. And he will take it in for a Ravens touchdown. Gus Edwards His 14th touchdown now on the year, as his guys are first onto the scoreboard here this afternoon. Justin Tucker for the extra point. Oh, he missed the PAT. No good on the extra point, so a letdown there, and this will stay a 6-point ball game. So with the missed PAT in his rearview mirror, he goes back out to kick this one off. And a fair catch signaled for and taken successfully.
The Steelers take over 1st and 10 at their own 25-yard line.
The Steeler offense here about ready for their next drive. You know, Charles, season winding down, time to maybe look ahead to the offseason. What do you see these guys going after either in the draft or free agency?
Well, with the season that they're having, just about every position is up for grabs right now. No one is really safe, but the focal point's always the quarterback position. And he may be auditioning to try and stay with his own current team. I think he's auditioning for the rest of the league to try and find a spot because I think this team...
And he fires one that's intercepted. Picked off by Patrick on Wassor. And they will finally put it into the return, but not until he takes it back all the way inside the 10-yard line. Suddenly it's 1st and goal after the interception. A quick change in the situation here. They run. It's Mark Ingram. And he will maneuver his way down to about the 7. Only a yard on the pickup there. 2nd and goal. Defensively, pretty good start there with their backs against the wall.
That's a win for the stop troops right there. And if I'm them, I get a little bolder now. They won the first battle. Keep coming after them. Put the pressure on them.
Now it appears we've got an injured Raven down there on the field. And in Week 17, let's hope this won't affect him for the playoffs. We'll step aside. Boy, you'd hate to squander this great field position. Here's 3rd and goal. They'll try and run. Edwards. And he will force his way into the end zone for a Ravens touchdown. Gus Edwards with touchdown number 15 of the year and 2nd of the game as the Ravens push further out in front. This time the extra point up and good, and the lead now stands at 13. Tucker now to kick it away following the touchdown. And this will be a touchback. Set sails over the end line. The Steeler offense here about ready for their next drive. And you have to figure they won't just sit on the football here in the final minute. The way things have gone, they need to try to make something happen offensively.
But maybe they should. Maybe they should sit on it here because of what you just...
And he goes down. The Ravens able to get to him. Melvin Ingram. What a season he continues to have. His 15th sack of the campaign. And they need to work to at least get some of this yardage back after the sack. 2nd and 19. On the left side, it's McDonald. Now the Steelers use the first of their 3 timeouts, as they'll stop it with 17 seconds to go in this first half of action. The Ravens bring out an extra defensive back here on 3rd. Rudolph looking to throw. He's going to float this one deep right side. And that'll be incomplete with 11 seconds remaining now. Here's Jordan Berry now, as he'll punt it away for the 2nd time. 46 on his first kick. This one in that neighborhood as well. And no return possible here as they angle this one out of bounds.
At their own 26-yard line.
The Raven offense set at the line for this next drive. Time for a final kneel down or a safe run, and then they can head to the locker room with a lead.
Yeah, or they can even run a screen. You know, something they feel is somewhat safe that might actually pop and turn into a big play. That's what you usually run in this situation.
Or go 4 verticals because why not?
Because you're feeling it, right? You're just feeling it.
The final 2 quarters of the NFL regular season are upon us as the second half of Week 17 is underway. This is fielded at the goal line. And not a bad return here. He gets it out to the 25-yard line.
At their own 25-yard line.
The Baltimore offense at the line, set to get going. They built a good first-half lead. Now they have a chance to add on to it.
And what I'm thinking is that the offensive staff spent the entire halftime just working with them on, here's what we think they're going to do to attack us in the second half. Nice first half that we've had, guys, but be prepared for some change-ups. We're going to see them when we kick it off in the second half.
See how they handle any adjustments that might be made defensively. A loss of a yard there to start out. That leads to a 2nd and 11. They run once more with Edwards. And now look at him go. He's at the 40, past the 20, 10, and all the way in for a Ravens touchdown. Gus Edwards, 76 yards as the Ravens push further out in front. Always important to get the first score of the second half. Now you start to pull away a little bit and get some breathing room going.
And now we find out about the fortitude of the group that's behind, because they were counting on getting into the game a little bit more, right? Maybe they get the first score. That doesn't happen. It looks almost insurmountable, but it's not. Let's see how hard they play the rest of the game.
Tucker now for the extra point. He missed one earlier, remember, but this time he gets it to go.
Makes the score Ravens 20, Steelers nothing. Justin Tucker to kick off.
Tucker now to kick it away following the touchdown. And that'll carry over the back line of the end zone for a touchback. The Steeler offense here about ready for their next drive. And their halftime hole now even deeper, and they need a big drive here just to answer the first touchdown of the second half scored against them.
They were down at the half. Now, as you mentioned, they're down a little bit bigger, but no time for discouragement. Just got to get back to it, right? Put your shoulder against the boulder and start pushing and try and get back to where you were to start the half.
Ball on the 30. They'll come up with a 2nd and 5. Here's Rudolph. And he fires one incomplete. Vance McDonald, the tight end, was the target, and it's 3rd and 5.
I know our vantage point might be a little bit better way up here, but that looked like an ill-advised throw to me. I didn't see anything open, and this play just didn't look right from the beginning.
It did not. I thought he might get outside and just chuck it away. Dangerous pass, incomplete. And he's going to be intercepted a 3rd time. Picked off here by Jimmy Smith. And he will bring this back. It's a pick 6 and a Raven touchdown. This D wanting to put it away before we even get to the 4th quarter, widening that margin a bit further.
And while they won't just empty the bench just yet, if you're a backup, start loosening up. I think you'll get a chance to play before this one is over now with that type of a cushion.
Tucker with the extra point, and that stretches the lead all the way up to 27.
Steelers nothing. Justin
So they'll get another shot on offense following that pick six. And now the kick is away. This is taken about 7 yards deep. And no run back here. This will be a touchback, and it comes out to the 25-yard line. The Steeler offense here about ready for their next drive. And they just had that pick six. I guess the only positive maybe of them returning that for a touchdown. This offense right back out onto the field to try to make up for it.
I like that because now it doesn't give them a chance to go to the bench and really settle, to sit there and kind of seethe over the idea that they turned the ball over previously. Right back out there, it's almost like hopping right back on the bike after falling over. See if they can get the ball moving again.
Well, we'll see if they can do it here. Throwing on 2nd and 3. Rudolph. And the Raven pressure too much. Down he goes. Matt Judon. He's the culprit, and that is now his 13th sack of the season as his great year continues.
3rd and
Go.
12.
60 Pittsburgh. Hey, Echo. Check nickel. Go.
Throwing on 3rd down. Here's Rudolph. And that will be incomplete. Another drive comes and goes. Still nothing on the scoreboard.
Yeah, and when the second half comes, it's real easy to get discouraged and wonder if you're ever going to get things started. You just got to fight through it. Got to keep pounding away.
Now look at this. 4th and 12, and they're going to line up to go for it.
Check. Go.
Shoot. Watch the shoot.
Go.
And now whistles here and a flag down. Looked like someone got going a little early. Here's Jordan Berry now as the drive goes backwards, so he's on to punt it away. He's averaging just under 50 yards a punt as he gets this away. And this punt goes out of bounds, and it'll be marked inside the 40.
Here we go. At their own 36-yard line.
The Raven offense set at the line for this next drive. They had the double-digit lead at halftime, and they have continued to roll. They're hard to stop right now.
I think what we're seeing is an example of a team that has it figured out in this ballgame. And whatever the adjustments are the defense has made, hasn't slowed them, hasn't phased them at all. They either anticipated them or they've been so far ahead that they just can't catch up.
Now it's just a search to add to the lead. 2nd and 5 after the 5-yard completion on 1st down. Jackson now gets it to Gordon. 20, 10, and all the way in for a Ravens touchdown. Josh Gordon, his 5th touchdown now on the year as his guys continue to pour it on. And correct me if I'm wrong, that was just a simple fly route, wasn't it?
No, there's nothing to correct at all. You've got it down pat. And I just remember as a player, when I'd be in practice sessions and I'd hear 9 from the receivers, that meant fly route, go, look out. That was the 9, and he just kept going all the way into the end zone for the touchdown.
Tucker able to connect on the extra point, and that will extend this big lead. Tucker now to kick it away following the touchdown. And they will not get a chance to return this one as it's through the end zone for a touchback. The Steeler offense here about ready for their next drive. These guys had to punt last time. It has not been a very fruitful game offensively thus far. They haven't even made a trip to the red zone.
And I know that everyone's going crazy on that sideline because that drives you berserk to come off the field, not really move the ball well. As you said, not even get to the red zone, let alone, not even put points on the board. They've got to just take a deep breath, relax, try and figure out what is working, and call more of that.
5 yards on the carry. Good pickup on 1st down. The 1st down run got 5. Here's 2nd and 5. play action. It's Rudolph. And this is caught. I think he got that with one hand. 11 yards there, first down.
It's got to the point where we see guys like that make that type of a catch. Not fair goes through my brain. That size, that speed, and now they're acting like wide receivers too.
Yeah, tight end one-handed catches. They're kind of like wide receiver one-handed catches nowadays.
Just not right.
This quarterback now just 8 of 16 thus far, 50%, but it's 1st and 10. Matt Judon there to bring him down.
They tried a quick hitter inside, but that one was swallowed up because what they're hoping, those big defensive linemen will take the bait and move laterally and open up a crease that they can run through. Didn't happen on that play.
Coming this way. Here we go. Tighten up.
Two draw corkers. Two.
They'll stay on the ground with Connor again. And he stopped immediately there. No gain on the play there, so that doesn't help. Now they're looking up at a 3rd and 9 situation.
Ready? 70. Indy.
And now the Raven defense going to call a timeout. It's just their first, so 2 remaining as they burn one here in this 3rd quarter. And on 3rd down, a nickel formation here defensively.
I don't even know why this team showed up.
Shotgun snap for Rudolph. Open man, Smith-Schuster, it's complete. And he's going to be taken down with the 1st down at the Ravens' 45-yard line. And this should be the final play before the quarter ends. 1 quarter remains here as the regular season starts to wind down. We'll return with more after this. You're watching the NFL on EA Sports. They'll run on 1st down. It's Connor. 5 yards is the tally on 1st down. That brings up 2nd and 5.
I call that play a success. A nice inside run sets up a very manageable 2nd down. A very solid gain on that play.
218, chopper.
From the 40 now on 2nd down. Rudolph escaping the pressure right. And eventually taken down here. Great coverage down.
That's how we do it, baby.
Awesome 1 yard on the sack. And it's 3rd down. 3rd and 7.
The Steelers on 3rd down. They've converted 3 times in 8 chances. This is 3rd and 7.
Exit.
Watch him.
Out of the gun, Rudolph. He's going to rifle one deep left side. And unable to connect, incomplete. Now give them credit, they took their shot, but it's going to bring up 4th down. Another incompletion. You know, it's a wonder he's still moving around back there the number of times he's been sacked.
Yeah, he's staying out there, isn't he? And you don't think about it much in a game like this, but he's showing incredible leadership. Still competing, still fighting, not taking himself out of a ball game that appears lost.
And he finds McDonald. It'll be a gain of 17 and a Pittsburgh first. Felt compelled to go for it there on 4th down, trailing in the 4th quarter. They got it done.
And there's always a lot of pressure on a 4th down call. Doesn't matter the distance. You still have to get it done, as you noted, and they did.
On 1st down, Connor. And they'll work it inside the 15-yard line before it's all said and done. The Steeler 1st down on the pickup of 11 yards.
Well, partner, I know this type of running back. I mean, this size, this intensity usually gets better as the game goes on. And I can just tell you from experience, the first few quarters, oh, you're eager. You come running up there, I'm going to tackle this guy. By the 4th quarter, you're coming up and thinking about it.
And D-line wearing down 4th quarter. Yeah, that's not a guy they want to see consistently. A rare misstep on that last play because the drive has been strong, but now it's 2nd and 12. Now Rudolph. Flush to his right. He'll be hit and taken down at the 21.
Brandon, I think you understand the type of afternoon this offensive line is having. It is a long one for them. Long for you to spend it with me. Long for them trying to block those guys. They've given up a whole lot of sacks, and the speed and quickness of that defensive line is eating them alive.
Back to throw, Rudolph. And he's going to go down again. Melvin Ingram, he continues to wreak havoc in the offensive backfield. Sack number 16 on the year. Just 2 minutes remaining here in the fourth quarter of what has been a one-sided affair. So the Steelers with the football as we get you reset. They come up on a 4th down situation with things not looking particularly rosy. And this one is right down the middle. And they'll get back 3, but this remains a large deficit. Well, it's a Pyrrhic victory at best, but, Charles, no team wants to get shut out, so it's hard to blame them for taking the 3 there.
You can't blame them one bit. It hasn't been the best performance, that's for darn sure. But there is something to be said for fighting to avoid the goose egg, and they're at least trying to finish out strong.
Well, fourth quarter, they felt like they needed the football back. Unfortunately, they couldn't get them.
And I know we brought analytics into the game, and someone has said here that the data says that when a team's expecting an onside kick, 80% of the time, the team expecting it, they do actually recover the ball, which is what we saw here. I just wonder if that number is much more of a anecdotal type of a number. Kind of like when the coaches tell us, well, when you score on special teams, 93% of the time you win the game. I'm still waiting to see that number is empirical.
Here's Edwards, and that'll hurt the average a bit as this time they're able to get him behind the line. It's a loss of a yard there, and now 2nd down. When this offense gathers to watch the tape, they're going to like a lot of what they saw. They put up big numbers, but they might fast forward through that last play.
Oh, there won't be any fast forwarding, partner. I've sat in those sessions before. You end up spending more time on the bad plays than you do on the good ones. It's just the nature of coaches. But I know sitting in that room, when you've had a big game, the night that they've had, you don't want to hear that. You just want to focus on the good stuff.
On 3rd down, here's Edwards. And he'll lose yardage here, back at the 41. Now the Steelers use the first of their 3 timeouts, as the clock will stop with 34 seconds to go in the game. Here's Sam Cook now, as he'll kick it away for the 2nd time. And he'll get this away into the icy winter air. And this one will not be returnable as it sails out of bounds.
At their own 22-yard line.
The Steeler offense here about ready for their next drive. They've lost this one. Their offense has struggled. Do they try to put together something here at the end just to take into next week?
Yeah, sometimes teams want to do that and coaches want to. I remember one time I was on a team and we were losing late in the game like this, and you knew it was lost. It was over, right? And the coach called a running play and pretty much said to everyone, I want to see something executed well before we get out of here. And that was the message to the team.
Just something to build on.
Just something to build on, get it done, and maybe we can look at...
Oh, but this is going to backfire as it's intercepted. Picked off here by Jimmy Smith. And he'll bring it back to about the 5-yard line.
So many times we end a game, and as we're recapping it, we're talking about what offenses did and how they won the game. Let's flip this one over. The defense, they frustrated the offense the entire ball game. That's why they're walking out of here with a victory.
And they're going to love to walk out of here with that as their final act, that interception. Good way for them to end it. Well, they probably don't need to run a play here, but you wonder if they're going to be able to resist on 1st and goal. Now the Steelers use the 2nd of their 3 timeouts, as they'll stop it with 17 seconds to go in the game. Now from the 7, here's 2nd and goal.
Man, I got you. Man, I got you. Ready.
The D can only stop it one more time as they take the knee.
The play loss third and goal.
So the final seconds tick away in this Baltimore victory, and they were buoyed, Charles, by a big second half that put this one on ice.
So you get the sense that whatever was said at halftime obviously hit home. I think it's a little bit more than that, though. Obviously, there are words that are said, and, hey, come on, guys, we have to play better. But sometimes it's just sharpening your execution, sharpening your focus, and maybe doing the things you practiced all week without major adjustments, just doing them better. And that got it done in this one.
So for Baltimore, a final win means they will finish off the regular season at a very strong 12-4. And now they'll await the final seeding for the playoffs ahead. Meanwhile, for Pittsburgh, this loss will be the capper to a dismal 4-12 campaign. And with some high picks coming in this spring's draft, it's a team for whom a roster overhaul may be on the way. And for Charles Davis and our entire crew, I'm Brandon Gaudin. You've been watching the NFL on